Come on, Lanka, come on!
Welcome to Pallekele for the 5th ODI between Sri Lanka and Australia. Australia winners of the series already, but they just can't win a toss. They've lost another one, and Sri Lanka are batting. Dhananjaya De Silva, the top of the order, and he's got a new partner. Dropped for the 4th ODI, back in for the 5th. It's Dhanushka Gunatilaka.
Here at the front.
Mitch Starc, 14 times in his career. He's picked up a wicket in the first over. When you do that, you set the tone for your team. Wonderful performer throughout this tour of Sri Lanka, and he still doesn't get a rest. Rightly so, he's missed a lot of cricket. He wants to be out there, and he knows he's going to miss the next series, the ODI series versus South Africa. So might as well play as many matches as you can. 2 slips away. Here comes Starc. As full as possible, giving it every opportunity to swing. Ruchira Palliaguruge from Sri Lanka, standing out there in the 4th ODI as well. He's in his 34th game, and his senior partner Aleem Dar from Pakistan. Good afternoon, Damien.
Good afternoon, Russell. Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be up here in Kandy. A good start by Starc once again. Australia losing tosses. Any reason why you're out there tossing that coin, maybe?
They seem to like to call heads all the time. Actually, there have been 9 times, 9 games in fact. Well, Michael Gough from England, he's our 3rd umpire today, and the match referee from India, Javagal Srinath. Celebrated his birthday a few days ago, our match referee. There we go. Chocolate cake. Cheers. Australia unchanged. Four seamers in the team. They all did a wonderful job the other day.
A good side, and they're keeping the winning side. We heard David Warner at the toss. At the top there, Finch was unbelievable the other night. Bailey as well. Had that great partnership with Travis Head. Boland, Zampa, Starc, Hastings, Faulkner. So lots of bowling options.
Sri Lanka though, 4 changes. That's a lot. A lot of chopping and changing. Gunatilaka is back in the team. Upul Taranga is back in the squad. Rasun Shanaka comes back in. And Suranga Lakmal. Well, of course, when you lose players like Angelo Matthews and you drop Thisara Pereira, who are all-rounders. 4 runs. Cracking drive from Dhananjaya De Silva. It's 4 for no loss. 4 changes for the Sri Lankan team. You lose players like Angelo Matthews and Thisara Pereira, who had a lot of balance because they bowl and bat. Sal Mendes, Dinesh Chandimal. Chandimal captaining the team today. the absence of Angelo Matthews. Finally, Gunathilaka was off the mark. Well, let's take this opportunity to wish everyone back in Australia a happy Father's Day. Special award for David Warner as well. Sports Dad of the Year.
Yes, Father's Day, everybody. Australia, so a good day there. The dad's getting spoilt. Sitting back watching the cricket, maybe. Be nice. There it is, David Warner, 2 matches as captain, 2 wins.
Well, you mentioned the unchanged team for the Australians, but the Sri Lankans having 4 changes. And throughout the tournament, throughout the ODI series, they've actually used 19 players. Lots of chopping and changing. Few players just getting the one opportunity. Well, you feel for them. It's a hard life if you have to feel the pressure to really perform every time you're out there.
You've experienced that, so have I. I think it's one of those ones you'd like to have a settled side, but for Sri Lankan cricket, they're trying to change it around and find the right combinations. That makes it difficult for players coming in and out. 35 players.
That's for both teams.
Both teams.
Most used by one particular team in a 5-match series. Oh, shot. He lined that up. Anushka Gunathilaka just hitting through the line.
Perfect shot. It's been watchful early on. Starks bowled well, 2 overs for his 5, but they decided on Hastings. Changed his length, pitched this one up. There's a cracking shot down the ground. That's what they need, Sri Lanka. They've had a look now. They're into the 4th over. It's going along quietly, but now you've got to decide on which bowler, where we're going to attack.
And as a batsman, you also have to give yourself a chance. Get used to the pace of the wicket. They've been losing wickets in the first over, basically, of every ODI, but this time around they've opted to leave a few deliveries, defend a few.
It's more the length that was crossed the seam from Hastings, but he's been usually bowling back of a length. That was great. Hastings, love it when the batsman, that full swing down the ground straight.
At the end of the 4th over, it's a series record for Sri Lanka. Opening partnership now 13 for no loss. Oh, lovely. Just use the width.
De Silva decides to come into the action as well. Fantastic, using the width of start. The ball's not swinging back. This was great. I want to see this positive early on. First power play. Stand and deliver. We saw early on was a nice cover drive. Just beautiful normal cover drive. This one in the air this time.
Faulkner is quite wide at 3rd man. Oh, Zampa. Zampa lets that through his legs. Aboku.
Not happy. Mitchell Stark was the big glare at Zampa at mid-wicket, and a bad misfield for Australia. Good for Sri Lanka, back-to-back boundaries. Full toss this time. He went 2 wide, now 2 straight and full. This piece at the end, Zampa, he won't be happy with.
You're standing on the square, it comes to you a lot quicker than you expect because it's much harder. The difference when you give yourself an opportunity to get used to the pitch, it relaxes you rather than going after the bowlers from the word go.
It does. They've done that early on. They watched start. There's a lot of balls being left alone, and then this started to happen. It was width. First one off Stark, and then the full toss was the second one. Helped with some misfielding as well, but it was more that for Stark now, his line is not quite right. He's holding the ball across the seam now, so it's not swinging.
Looking for uneven bounce, maybe if it hits the seam, reacts in a certain way, on the side of the ball a different way. Leg buys. Hastings comes around from short fine leg because Zampa actually has been banished to deep square leg. Will actually want to change the field around, and hence Zampa had to go out.
Be happy now bowling the left-hander as well, Stark.
For the first time in the game.
I'd be pleased, but Mitchell Stark has a couple of times appealed for the one going down and hitting the stumps, but pitching outside leg. So good decisions.
Hastings. He's just losing that length a bit. 2 full tosses in the over, unlike Stark.
Well, most of the series he's had concerns about where his feet have been landing, and it's been back there at the moment. Talk about feet movement. When you're on the grass next to the wicket, it's nice and damp and wet and lush, and then down you go. Sometimes there you almost got to start running on the wicket at times if you want to turn around and go back quick.
Clipped in the air once again. This won't go for 4. Good over from the Sri Lankans' point of view. 12 off it. It's 25 for no loss. Five overs bowled. The last over was a good one for the Sri Lankans. 12 off Mitch Stark.
Very rare taking that many runs off Mitchell Stark at the moment. The form he's been in. This is a good positive start by Sri Lanka. And they picked the right deliveries. And I think Stark, has been struggling in the sense where his feet have been landing, whether the ball hasn't been swinging.
Done away with the slip. David Warner moves out to short mid-wicket. Well, 25 runs. The highest opening partnership Sri Lanka had over the past month. What about that for timing? Just a short jab from Gunatilaka.
Moved into it solidly. Full face the bat. Not as quick as Dan Bowler. It's a bit more lush, this outfield. Look at that, that's great. Covers his off stump. He's moving forward into the ball. There we go. It's been gaining in confidence, haven't they? They took their time early on. Now you feel like they're starting to make their move.
Good shape. For the first time, Hastings bowling at the right-hander.
Good seam. That was the perfect seam. Shape up, just decking away. He'd be happy bowling to the right-hander.
In fact, he's faced a couple before. Yes, he did. He flicked one to the onside. Just like that. In the Test series, the highest opening partnership for Sri Lanka was 8. So this is a massive improvement.
Take this. Definitely take this. It's been a good wicket as well early on. Always the discussion when you're away. But De Silva today, he's been attacking. A few red dots with defending, and early on he left the ball alone, which I thought was very good of Stark. Took his eye and got in.
Up and over, no one in the deep. One bounce, two bounce. 4 runs to Gunatilaka.
Positive batting so far from Sri Lanka. Crowd are loving it, they're dancing. Too much width, too short from Hastings. And at the moment, the combination in with Stark as well are being attacked. One bounce, another boundary, batting out of their crease. So they're feeling confident with this wicket now. It's been a good wicket with the new ball.
Oh, breaks through the hands of the fielder at extra cover. Travis Head saves 3 runs for his team at the end of 6. 34 for no loss.
Oh, that's classical. That really is a beautiful stroke. Fantastic.
Crowd on their feet. And enjoying this exhibition from De Silva. You mentioned in your interview, Mergers, with Aaron Finch, trying to be uncomplicated, see the ball, hit the ball. Keep still and hit through the line.
Gunatilaka getting in on the act with a beautiful shot through extra cover. A chase for Stark, and they'll come back for 3.
Gunatilaka, I call him Gunners, eh? Sweet. Trying to bowl more of that sort of stuff at the moment, James Faulkner. Seam up or quicker deliveries. Nibble out, winkle out the openers. Some orthodox stuff. Quiet at the moment.
A little bit of movement behind the bowler's arm.
Faulkner asking what's going on. Very simple in the movements, very Sangakkara-like.
Lots of use of the bottom hand from Dhananjaya De Silva. We've seen that on several occasions so far today. And indeed, throughout the course of this tour. Very strong through the onside, whipping the ball away when it's straight.
Again, that scramble seam might be outside off. But, subcontinent players, no worries. Wrist work and little flicks and use the pace of the bowler. More evident with Faulkner being a bit more orthodox and pace on the ball. So allowing his 2 openers dynamic wrist work that they're renowned for in this part of the world.
This is a couple of balls ago. The wrist work there, working the ball into the onside. That should be a wide. Indeed it is. Aleem Dar confirms that fact.
And De Silva threw his head back. Felt he missed out there. Lovely little pickup because fine leg is up inside the circle. Scotty Boland misses out with a little pickup. It's going just over his hip height.
Losing his shape there. Dhananjaya De Silva just trying to hit that one too hard. Still gets a single. It's the end of the over. And 10 overs have gone. Great start for Sri Lanka. 9 runs off the over, 58 without loss. Believe it or not, this is actually the 4th opening partnership for Sri Lanka in this series, as umpire Palegurage signals the second power play. Kushal Perera and Dilshan in the first game. Gunatilaka and Dilshan in games 2 and 3. Dhananjaya De Silva and Avishka Fernando, the debutant, in game 4. And now Gunatilaka and Dhananjaya De Silva in game 5. Here's the power play.
Well, if you're a little bit over tossed and on a length, this is what can happen to you. 2 new balls, 50 over one-day cricket. Lovely stroke play. Left-hand, right-hand combination. Both these players showing their talent, showing their wares inside the power play, the first 10.
Opening stands for Sri Lanka, or rather the first 10 overs for Sri Lanka in this series thus far. 43 for 1, 59 for 2, 53 for 2 and 32 for 3. It was comfortably their best effort. Yes, they got 59 in that second game, Premadasa, but they lost a couple of wickets in doing so. That's glanced for 4. Far too fine for the man at fine leg, Faulkner.
Highlights the simple fact of having the left-hander on strike when you've been bowling to the right-hander for a while, Scotty Boland, and you get your radar slightly wrong, and it cost you. Very frustrating for the fielding side.
Oh, almost chopped on. It's more like it from Boland. Bit of good fortune for Gunatilaka.
It's a funny old game, whether it's red ball cricket or white ball cricket, and a chop-ons that either miss, bounce over the top, French cut, goes for 4, sometimes only 1. Do love a chop-on. As a former bowler, the batters hate it. Feel it's such a waste, or they should have done better with the delivery. Back onto the poles.
They've been busy, haven't they, these two, Danny? They've run very well between the wickets.
Essence of a good partnership, opening partnership, that is. Nearly disturbs the timber, weren't there? Oh, yeah. Good luck. Now you take it. Yeah, and I think that's been probably talked about at length. Sri Lanka in their camp, and maybe even the selectors have come in and got to have more urgency, be more busy, do the basics well. That confidence of running between the wickets and calling. 11 done, 60, 4 for none. And I think all savvy cricket fans in Australia will be saying, absolutely. I think you go with that. Test cricket, obviously. Yeah, but it's interesting. The shortest form of the game, where you think, okay, well, more batting dominates. Well, those little 2%ers, yeah, mis-stumping it, change the state, the course of a game. Imperative for a keeper.
A fish and out. Oh, that's the soft dismissal for Dhananjaya De Silva. Mitchell Starc takes the catch. Australia make the breakthrough. That man Faulkner, his 10th wicket of the series. And Sri Lanka's best opening stand of the tour comes to an end.
Very frustrated with himself, De Silva. Was chatting about it a couple of overs ago. Get in, get a start. He can't go on. Faulkner gets his man. De Silva had a platform, got to 34 from 47. First one down here for the home side at 73.
Kusal Mendis coming in at number 3. He'll have happy memories of this ground. Remember, he got 176 here in the Test match at the back end of July. An innings which turned the match and arguably turned the series in Sri Lanka's favour.
Gets off the mark. It's a short delivery, just rocking onto the back foot. This is the
kind of foundation that the Sri Lankans wanted right throughout the series. They had it once in the second game, but never really able to repeat it. Been rather inconsistent, but here they seem to be all right. So far, at least.
Nice bowling.
Well, I think a couple of things to look at. The wicket's been very good. Now that might change second innings and different scenarios with spinners, but Stark is the key. We know that in world cricket, and they got through him. That's good because him getting wickets gives the Australians confidence.
Another short delivery. Good work on the boundary, just managing to pull it in. That's Aaron Finch. Couple of runs, really didn't come on to Gunathilaka. He would have liked a little bit of more pace on it to get the full bat onto it. He just couldn't. They'll want to check whether that was a boundary.
They're too short from Zampa. Did well, he latched onto it. And Finch doing some fancy work around the boundary, and that looks pretty good at the moment. Just be seeing where his foot was. But he's going to be fine. Good piece of work.
A ball in. That's a poor shot. He just got so far inside the line, exposed his leg stump. Was looking to paddle a delivery that was directed at the leg stump, didn't spin. So Australia have got their second wicket.
And Zampa has 8 wickets now. And this is what he does so well. He'll bowl stump to stump. Last game he said that. He's not a big turner of the ball. We know that. He bowls the wrong and he bowls the leg spinner, but he mainly bowls the straight ones. That's a big wicket for him.
Out for 39, it's 77 for 2. Sri Lankan captain comes out, Dinesh Chandimal. Captain Sri Lanka last in 2013. Captain them in 2 ODIs, both against South Africa. Mind you, has a 100% record. He's won both. Comes out because Danushka Gunathilaka attempted a very uncharacteristic shot.
He got far too across his stumps and exposed that leg stump. It would have been LBW anyway, if it hit his pad. He was so far. And right there, we were just speaking, weren't we, about how well Sri Lanka are doing, what they need to do. Don't need to now lose clumps of wickets. Got to take advantage of this great start by the openers.
Australia have done very well. They've dismissed 2 established batsmen. They've got 2 new one in, so they can now apply the pressure. 1 ball to go in the over.
Nice bowling.
And Chandimal will get off the mark with a single. 5 runs and a wicket, 78 for 2. Knox come back with Sri Lanka on 78 for 2. Silva and Gunathilaka, the batsman, out. And Stark has been outstanding. I mean, I'm a bit surprised that he's playing this game because we heard that he was going to skip it.
I think a very good call from David Warner. Good captaincy, very positive. You've just got established batsmen now. As you mentioned, Roshan, you've got 2 new batsmen in, so get the best bowler back on. Try and get 1 more, 2 more.
It's short and wide, straight to the man at point.
I think that's what we've seen with David Warner. We've seen this in his batting. We all know that in his batting, in all forms of the game. We've seen it in the IPL. And Zampa, just having a fine year, was fantastic in the West Indies. He's been great here. That's his 8th wicket. He gets so many LBW and bowled, just stump to stump.
Oh, gone! That's a big one. Chandimal just helps. Short and wide, just steered it to the wicket keeper. That was catching practice. The Sri Lankan captain should be disappointed. Australia have got 3 wickets in next to no time.
How the game changes, and well done to David Warner. Makes the change. The big weapon on Mitchell Starc back into the attack. Short, outside edge, easy catch for Wade. And all of a sudden, the game has changed. Australia is back in it. And Chandimal today is out for 1, and now Sri Lanka 78 for 3.
Upul Tharanga, man with a lot of experience, returning after playing in the series against England in England. Target is straight away, just angles it into the pads or his hip. It's off the mark with a single.
It's been a good comeback for Stark. No wickets early on with the new ball, but first time back, just hitting the glove. Good piece of bowling and good captaincy from Warner, attacking positive. Get your main bowler back in. Ask Stark the question, say, we need wickets. He's done that straight away in his first over back.
Sri Lanka once again in familiar territory. Did have problems with their top order, then rescued by a partnership either for the 3rd or 4th wicket. Another look at that dismissal. Look at the bounce Stark gets, and just touching the gloves. He had to really go off the ground. He was off the ground really looking to try and run it down onto him quickly. I think that was the key. Touched his gloves before he could get his bat. He was really looking to use the pace of the ball to run it down, but done by the pace and bounce.
It's been a very good wicket, hasn't it? Early on, yes, no grass on it. It's got a lot of cracks all over it, but at the moment, ball's been going through, it's been bouncing. We're just waiting for the umpire to work out what's going on. Trying to work. He's dropped a few
He's dropped
things.
his mobile phone. Well, it must be someone else's. I'm not sure whether it's his. Driven through. Something to cheer about for the Sri Lankan fans. Pitched up, and Mendes leaning into it and hitting it through extra cover.
Classical shot, 148 Ks off start, and it went quicker to the boundary. Look at that. Good feet, head still. Just what you like to do when you're batting. Raced away, Khawaja was at deep point, and he had no chance to try and stop that.
Last ball of the over. Stark just searching for that extra yard, looking for that Yorker. Good over comes to an end, 83 for 3. Lampa again starts off with a full toss. Just looking for that extra turn. Just not getting that dip that a spinner would like.
It's been a good combination, Zampa and Stark. Question will be now, Stark's bowled 5 overs. Does he have one more in his second spell? Zampa's into his 4th. Boland, Hastings, Faulkner. Different combinations.
Poor delivery, but that's a full toss. It's gone all the way. Well, sometimes deliveries like that can get you wickets. For a moment, I didn't think that Mendes thought he had timed it well, but it went all the way for 6.
Not small boundaries here. And Khawaja has deep square leg. Yes, these can be easily wickets. But not today. Mendes, to his couple of boundaries, now adds a massive 6. Right over into the wall and bouncing back.
Another short one, this time finds the man on the boundary. He's a real pocket rocket, isn't he? Can hit the ball hard and they stay hit. He's gone to 17 or 14 balls. Another look. I don't think he thought he had got everything on it.
Swung hard there. Did well. He wasn't running, he knew. Had a few issues with his back, so a bit of a smile. That's the 100 up for Sri Lanka. 3 wickets down has been the issue for him in that small little spell. But very good. Great start. Great start in the power play. They did well with Stark. Now we're seeing Mendes continue it on.
That's their quickest in terms of getting to the 100 in this series. That's for Sri Lanka. He goes again. Oh, he's playing some delightful shots. Just swept it from his stumps and in front of square through mid-wicket.
13 runs now from the over, and Mendes is taking to Zampa. Great shot. Outside off. He picked the line well, so if he missed it, he was going to be in the clear. And then it was about placement. Through mid-wicket. Another boundary. He's now 21 of 15.
Well, dot ball. Good comeback by Zampa, but 13 runs in the over. It's 104 for 3.
Stark's bowled his 5, Hastings 4. Bowling into his 4th now.
Oh, that's fine. That will run away to the boundary. Not intentional. Boland finding the edge, but no reward here.
He certainly did, and you wouldn't expect to slip in at the moment. So he'll get away with that. Good line. Yeah, genuine nick, and it wouldn't have carried anyway. That's where they bowl. He bowl asking enough in those areas. That corridor.
Very good with his line. That's what the Australians have done to Mendes right throughout the series. Not just in the one-days, but in the test matches too. Stark was very good. Had him 5 out of 6. But interestingly, Stark hasn't had Mendes in the one-day series. But they tend to probe him around that off-stump area. And that's another look. Just that probe him line just outside the off-stump.
There's a change of pace, and there's a lickety stick over extra cover. Wonderful piece of timing from Mendes.
It's looking so good. Kusal Mendes, 4 dot balls, and then he gets an opportunity. Slower ball in the slot, doesn't hold back. Now that's the sign of a man in form, a man in the right zone mentally, able to pounce all over something, all over an opportunity.
3 test matches when you're over there and staying with a new lease of life. His fair share of injuries over the last 18 months. Seems to be excited and rejuvenated with his test career. Dale Steyn. 2 test match series with New Zealand, a washout there in Durban, but dominated there at Supersport Park. Centurion won comfortably against the Kiwis recently. There you go, is a faint tickle. 4th one down now, courtesy of Jono Hastings, back in the thick of it. The man of the match from the 4th one-day international picks up another.
Kusal Mendes has been asked to hang around because the umpires want to have a look at Hastings' front foot. No problem at all with it. Bowling wide of the crease, so umpire Alinda was not sure. He'd gone across that return crease, just away from the body. A hesitant poke from Kusal Mendes. Well, no problems with Hastings' feet, so Kusal Mendes on his way. Well, another one goes in the 30s. 33 to Mendes, 121 for 4.
Costa Pereira. And the Pereiras back in the middle. Got to work on these numbers. Well, he's 63 matches. You'd like some better stats with the scoring average and the strike rate. But he's out in the middle. Crucial time for Sri Lanka. Hastings round. And as you said, Russell Arnold, another one out in the 30s. It's 21 for 4 now. John Wayne Hastings is at the top of the tree at the moment for 2016 and One Day Internationals. A couple of leggies there as well. Hazelwood, another Aussie up there. And it's time for Travis Head with his little off breaks.
2 left-handers in the middle.
Hastings doing another good job. He's bowled a maiden, got a wicket.
Nice bowling.
Time for Travis Head. A second over. The left-handers out in the middle for Sri Lanka, and the pace off it. He did get a wicket, didn't he? The games ago.
Nice, Eddie. He doesn't want to come down now, Eddie.
They can afford to play a few dot
Nice,
balls.
Eddie, bye.
Get used to the pace of the wicket. Look to be together come the 35th. 4 runs and over, get Sri Lanka to somewhere near 170, 175 with 15 to go. They need to get to the last few overs with 6 wickets in hand, not 2 or 3 like they've done in the ODIs before this one. 3 ODIs out of the 4. They've dug a hole for themselves by losing too many wickets in this little period.
And it's not allowed the home side to cash in his last 7 or 8 overs. In the air, crosser, catch it, there's another. Just what you were saying, Russell Arnold, losing wickets at this point in their innings.
A nothing shot really. Couldn't get over it. Yes, gentle off spinner reaching for it. Upul Taranga. You mentioned Travis Head gets wickets. Yes, he gets another. Australia keep picking up wickets. Taranga gone for 15. 129 for 5.
Dashun is out there at number 7. So lots of changes in the Sri Lankan side. And you think they've lost Angelo Matthews. Big blow. That's 5. Crucial position. Opens the bowling. And now they've had to tinker with their side. In fact, made 4 changes in Sri Lanka. Now they're in a spot of bother.
Dasun Shanaka left out after the English series in favour of Tisra Pereira. Still to make a real impact, but has shown enough to think that he is one for the future. Very positive cricketer.
Oh, yes, Eddie.
After 27, 129 for 5.
Did it carry? Finch with a little digit on it. Might have been on the half volley. But it went quickly to Finch's right.
He's got a hand to it. But in his defense, it's very difficult to pick that one up because it hardly got off the ground. Look how low it is. It's carried. Certainly has carried.
Genuine edge. Great piece of bowling. It's that length that's asking whilst the batsman is new to the crease.
Well, Finch is jogging off. He did get a finger to it. They'll be looking
This time he'll get runs down to third man. Short and wide, had plenty of space. And he pounced on it. Useful runs here.
Good fortune for Pereira, but he'll take them, and so will Sri Lanka. Outside edge. But once it got past backward point, Mitchell Stark, no worries at all.
He's playing in this side as an all-rounder, wicket-keeper, batsman. So number 6, 7 belongs to an all-rounder. So they need someone of that caliber.
Well bowled, big spin from Travis Head, and here's something for the Sri Lankan spinners to get their fingers itching about.
Great delivery to a left-hander. Just enough turn, not outrageous turn, but just enough to beat the outside edge.
Pitched middle and comfortably beat the off stump. Big shout for LBW, and the finger goes up. The big spinning off spinner, followed by a delivery which slides on. Umpire Palagurage getting his finger up, but straight away Kusal Pereira wants a review. Maybe. Was the point of impact just outside off stump as well? That's the other issue. I suspect it was in line. Maybe there was an inside edge. That's what Michael Goff is looking for at the moment.
But there's a definite bat, I think. There's a definite bat. Look how the ball, the seam tends to really change direction, or the ball tends to change direction. There seemed to be a bat to me. That has to be inside edge.
Ball tracking. Point of impact is in line. And it's going to go on and hit the stumps. So umpire Palagurage's decision will be stuck with. And Kusal Pereira will perhaps feel a little bit hard done by, but he's got to go. He's out for 14. The 6th wicket goes down.
Well, 145 for 6, but I'm afraid I can't agree with that decision. I certainly thought there was bat. Kusal Pereira unfortunate. He's LBW. Sri Lanka 145 for 6. He goes for 14.
Sachith Patirana coming in at number 8. He bowled very effectively in the last match in Dambulla, picking up 3 wickets. He's got to bat very effectively now because Sri Lanka are in some difficulty. Just lost their 6th wicket in slightly controversial fashion, Roshan Abasinghe.
Absolutely, Brian. I think I was very surprised when they went for ball tracking, because to me there was a bat in it. And another one. Just look at this. Definite bat. Definite bat. No doubt about it. But this will confirm that it was hit in line. No question about it. Nobody questioning the ball tracking. Question was whether there was an inside edge. And it looked an inside edge for sure.
Well, the only people who didn't think there was an inside edge are the important people who matter. That's umpire Palagurage and the television official umpire Goff.
And also the batsman, he was pretty spontaneous the way he took that referral, because he knew. I mean, generally, if you're not sure, if you're asking for the line, you'll ask the non-striking batsman. But he felt.
Just to emphasise as well, for the third umpire to overturn the on-field decision, he has to regard it as being conclusive evidence to the contrary. He didn't regard it as conclusive evidence, umpire Goff, so we stuck with umpire Palagurage's decision.
Well, Brian, that's a very debatable point. Conclusive evidence hasn't been there when there were certain decisions that were overturned, so I don't know whether we can go that far or go there. But I get your point. What you're saying is right. That's the way the umpires would want to make that decision. But sadly, I'm not sure whether that was the case right throughout this series. But, well, as you say, the final judge is the third umpire and got to go with this decision.
And of course, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, Sri Lanka have lost their review. All water under the bridge now, though. Sri Lanka 6 down and still with 18.5 overs to go in their innings. It's getting a bit gloomy here at the moment, in more ways than one. Sri Lanka and their fans obviously a bit gloomy.
Pathirana just looking to come down the pitch. Obviously this pitch is not a quick pitch. The ball's not coming onto the bat. But I wonder whether this is the right way to go, because Sri Lanka needs to now try and bat the 50 overs because they're facing the danger of being bowled out inside the 50 overs. Well, Sachit Pathirana just in. Just faced two balls when this happened. Look how far he is. He's way down the pitch. Obviously the indication that the ball is not coming onto the bat, and that's been seen. We've seen a few balls that hasn't really stopped, but you could see with the stroke play that the batsmen haven't really been on top of it. Oh, goodness me. It's 146 for 6.
Head to continue. 4 overs, 2 for 13 for him so far. Big heave away by Dasan Shanaka into the onside, and he'll get 4. That's the way he plays. He likes to play his shots. The 150 comes up, and Shanaka hits his first 4.
The Sri Lankan fans having something to cheer about after the dismiss of Kusal Pereira, just dragging it from well wide outside the off stump. Usman Khawaja not just getting across. Another single.
Shanaka played both one-day internationals against Ireland earlier this year, and 4 of the 5 against England in June and July. Confirmation of the fact that Sri Lanka have hit some quicksand, the loss of those wickets. Yeah, perhaps slow sand would be a better description. Now, Padirana, Roshan, bit of a local boy, went to Trinity College here in Kandy, the same school as Kumar Sangakkara and Lahuru Kumara, the young under-19 bowler.
Also made his debut here in Pallekele. He is captain Trinity College. He captained the Sri Lanka under-19, so he's got good pedigree. He's played for the 18.
Yeah, actually made his one-day international debut against Pakistan here in July of last year. 33 made, actually, batting at number 9 from just 28 balls.
He's in here more as a bowling all-rounder, Sachit Pathirana, because Sri Lanka needs that support. Someone who could also get you some runs, but more bowl your quota of 10 overs and be useful.
That's run fine. Chase for Faulkner. 2 runs the result. End of the over, 9 runs from it. 155 for 6. 5th and final match of this Hero Cup, the one-day international series. Australia leading 3-1, and they're looking to make it 4-1, and at the moment they look very well placed to do so. Sri Lanka making a good start through De Silva and Gunatilaka, and since then they've lost wickets at regular intervals. With the 17 overs left in this innings, if Sri Lanka can bat them out, that's a big if at the moment. James Faulkner operating from the Hanusagiriya end, our commentary box end of this Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. Fine leg just being moved a little bit finer by Faulkner. So how do they play this, Roshan, now, the Sri Lankan batsmen? Obviously they want to press on, but with 6 wickets down, they're in a pretty precarious situation.
No targets here, Brian. Just bat the 50 overs. That should be the plan. You can't be looking to try and set yourself targets to achieve in terms of runs. I think the only target they should be looking at is wanting to bat the 50 overs, and then we try and defend.
Edged, and I think David Warner got a hand on that. He's in a floating slip position, diving full length to his right. The batsmen take a single, but it's a fortunate escape for Patirana.
Opened him up a bit. Just leaving the left-hander, got him completely squared up. And also, I think in fairness to Warner, it didn't really carry quite wide. As you said, floating position, but look at Patirana, he got completely squared up.
It's opened up like a tin of peaches there, wasn't it?
Just the movement from the left armour, leaving the left-hander. Patirana was committed. Then very lucky that it just went past the dive. It's a bit of a worrying build-up of clouds over Pallikale. In fact, it's got a little bit gloomy, cloudy. But thankfully, the lights are on. And don't forget, this ground can be covered in no time. Sri Lanka generally covers the entirety of the ground. And that's how efficient the ground staff is.
Seeing where those clouds were, that might be a promising sign. They were at the Hunasagiriya end, and generally we found that the bad weather came from the other end of the ground during the test match. They might be famous last words. The ground staff very much getting ready for action.
Running the first run hard, and he wants to come back for 2. It's back in the end, a couple of runs to Patirana. That will be the way the Sri Lankans will look to play. Try and get your singles, the 2s. Really running that first run hard.
There's a little bit of drizzle coming down. Ground staff are ready. The massed ranks of ground staff. Batsmen come back for 2 more. What's going to happen here? It's the end of the over. Are we going to stay out for a little bit longer? Let's hope we are. 162 for 6, 34 overs have gone. You can see some spots of rain on the camera there. Hopefully it won't amount to anything. The ground staff are ready just in case it does. This venue constructed just before the ICC Cricket World Cup of 2011. It's actually built on the shape of an upturned saucer, so the rain, once the covers are down, will actually run off the covers to the edge of the ground. Adam Zampa back into the attack, replacing the off-spinner Travis Head.
Attacking option, Zampa. Always a leg spinner. He's an attacking option. He's a wicket-taking option for the captain. He'll be one of the bowlers that the captain will try and look to dismiss, particularly the lower order batsmen, because the leg spinners they have a way of getting batsmen out. That should be a wide. I thought Warner's use of Stark was judicious. He was very good. Always brought him on when a wicket was down or a new batsman was in, and now bringing in Zampa at this stage. Of course, didn't have a great 4th over. But this will be the time that he will want to try and just create some pressure for the Sri Lankan batsman.
Same run down here, Zampi. Straight past the
Yeah,
wrong
6
knee,
bowlers
Zampi.
used in total by Australia today, and Warner's shuffled his pack quite nicely. Long off coming up to mid-off now for Patirana on strike.
Told you, Zampi.
Hastings, the fielder, at deep backward square leg.
Australia should be looking to try and dismiss the Sri Lankan low order. At the moment, really don't see Warner attacking them. No slip, no one in catching. Bowled him. He didn't need a slip. It was a straight one that hurried on. Shanaka was looking to play it square and done by Zampa. That was much quicker than the previous delivery.
Almost 85 kilometres an hour, that ball. Skinning on and cannoning into the outside of off stump. Bit of a nothing shot from Dasan Shanaka, really. 2 for Zampa now today. 7 for Australia. Shanaka out for 13. It's 165 for 7. In at number 9, man who opened the batting for Sri Lanka during the Test series when Kaushal Silva was indisposed with injury. Dilrun Pereira. He's here because everything that David Warner seems to touch at the moment from a captaincy perspective is turning to gold. He's brought back Adam Zampa, and Zampa has struck in his first comeback over.
Playing for some turn, looking to run it down. That's the one that slides through, just hitting the outside of the off stump. Dasun Shanaka was also done by that extra bit of pace that he had off the pitch. The previous delivery was bowled much slower. He's been doing it very well, Zampa. Bowled at under 80 kilometers, and this one was almost 85. Gone to him quickly. Just didn't read the pace of the pitch. Rather fatal mistake of looking to run it down to third man.
Oh, Zampi.
Dragged down by Zampa. First ball or not, Dilrun Pereira pulls it away for 4. It's the end of a successful over for the leg spinner, but Sri Lanka in trouble. 169 for 7.
Full toss, just over Stark. Bottom of the bat for Sachit Patirana.
Good piece of fielding, Mitchell Stark. The big quick at mid-off. He was thinking half a chance. The full toss again by Zampa. He's bowled a few of these already. Right here, it dips at the last minute. Stark couldn't quite get it.
He's done well. Stark saves 2 runs for his team.
Yeah, it's good from the big fast bowler. He's got to get down there early. Just trying to work out when he touches the ball and releases it. Is his foot touching the line? Have a look. Oh, it's difficult there.
Just looks like he's got rid of it before he touches the rope there. Oh, decided that it's touched the rope. Another full toss. This time he gets it better. Back-to-back boundaries for Sachit Patirana.
Maybe tiring a bit, Zampa. Full tosses at the moment, and that's caused back-to-back boundaries. First one wasn't that convincing, but this was. Threw it up. Straight down the ground. Australia got to be careful here. They've got Sri Lanka in a good position. Let them slip away.
Lost that. Probably slightly wet ball.
Maybe wet ball, maybe wet wicket as well, where his foot's landing. His foot does slide because he puts so much power and downforce through his front foot when it hits the crease. But maybe also the ball in the hand. His outfield is very lush. There's been light drizzle over it at the moment.
Khwaja does well in the deep, keeping that down to just the 1 run.
And Mitchell Starc, it's been concerns all the time in Dan Buller. We saw it, but there we go. See, it slides. He's had injury concerns before, operation on his ankle. Just a heap of cricket he did for a while. So there, we're just sliding through the crease.
This is an angle he's preferred against Dilwan Pereira, around the wicket. And that's why it works every time.
Well, you know it's coming, and I think batsmen know it's coming. We do. He bowls around the wicket and he reverses the ball away and he knocks over off stumps just for the fun of it. Watch this. Here it goes. There it is. And for a batsman, it's just not covering his stumps, and disappointment. But good for Starc. That's his 2nd wicket. And he knows. Another one down. Pereira's gone for 5, and now Sri Lanka 184 for 8.
Guranga Lakmal. One stage, the way the Sri Lankans were going, I thought he'd get a hit. He now has plenty of time to get himself a half-century.
Well, he has plenty of deliveries left. And he's in there because of Mitchell Starc was brought back into the attack by David Warner. Around the wicket. And this is what he does. He attacks the stumps. And really, I mentioned that maybe the ball goes away, but this was just dead straight. It was just missed in the end.
Just played the wrong line.
No, you're right. Played the wrong line. Too quick. Starc frustrated, but still getting wickets. I tell you what, he's going to be honing in on these stumps. It's going to be a full Yorker, or at least on the stumps.
The toe crusher. Toe crusher misses the toe but hits middle stump.
And it could be all over this over and a hat-trick. He'll be on a hat-trick. 9 down now, Sri Lanka. And as he's running in, we called it. It was going to be full at the stumps. He's done this his whole career, Mitchell Starc. The front of the innings and the back of the innings. Outstanding, smart bowling. And he's missed that by like 2 inches. Oh, they know. He knows. A little smile. He's been the king of one-day cricket for Australia. And Lakmal's gone for 0. No runs for him. It's 184 for 9.
Miller Oponso. Last man in for the Sri Lankans. Mitch Starc on a hat-trick. It's been the hat-trick series, really. Virat picked up a hat-trick in the Test match. Faulkner in the 2nd ODI. 2 wickets.
Oh, he's missed that by a mile. 2 slips in place now, and I think this delivery you're watching is what's going to come.
How about a short leg?
It's going to be right at those stumps.
Mitch Starc on a hat-trick. Oponso gets back on ball, and hear the crowd. They've had something to cheer about. It's 184 for 9.
Never really had much bounce.
That's in the gap. Drop kicked over Khwaja. Khwaja does all the hard work. And guess what? Dives over it.
Good shot, good boundary. Bowling too much width, too full. That's what you need to do. That's a great shot. Can they push up to 200? Get to 210, you never know. That's what they're going to be thinking, Sri Lanka, at the moment.
Don't want to say, Damien. I was thinking 260, 280. Not too long ago.
No, you called it, didn't it? The toss. We thought 250. No, I think 250 would have been a real hard challenge for the Australian batsmen. But even now, we're saying, even before those last 2 wickets, 220, 230 would have been nice.
Now you've got to take whatever that comes. But with 220, 230, when the Australians go off as they do in the first 10 overs, the Sri Lankans don't have the bowlers to control those first few overs, the first 10 really. 220, 230 just becomes nothing.
Well, they can get wickets. That's the thing of Sri Lanka. If Finch attack the way they do and they pick up a couple of wickets, you never know what's going to happen. So far, it's all good for Australia. 39 overs done. It's 189 for 9.
Mid on, mid off. I beg your pardon, Faulkner at mid off takes an easy catch. So Sri Lanka bowled out. Sachit Pathirana had no option really.
No, we're just talking about that. What does he do? Singles or big shots? And he decided big shots. They've been a fine innings for his 32 off just 38. But bowling, his first wicket.
Was there for the shot. There was width. Couldn't get enough. Off the bottom of the bat, Sachit Pathirana. Well, good comeback from the Australians. Hit Sri Lanka hard. Pathirana, the last man, dismissed for 32. Lanka 195 all out in the 41st over. So Australia been asked to field first, where they would have liked to bat. Have bowled Sri Lanka out for 195, and that's what they need to win the series 4-1.
Chandimal with the final few words to inspire his side to turn things around and try and win this one to make it 3-2 and not lose 4-1 in the series to David Warner's men. Stevie Smith going home to rest and recoup for a busy summer down under ahead. And the Aussie captain strides out with confidence to trek down 196. Hearing, seeing there, that looks like Matty Wade to me. No, Aaron Finch, Russell Arnold. Evening.
Good evening, Danny Morrison. David Warner leading the team well. Very positive in the field. Brought in his strike bowlers at the right time. But with the bat, though, it's been a massive struggle. Just not enjoyed himself and not contributed right at the top of the order. There's your answer. Matthew Wade has been a useful addition to this Australian team. He's someone who has travelled with the broom. And opening the bowling for Sri Lanka, a medium pacer, Suranga Lakmal.
You're harsh. Hits it right and he hits that length. Enough movement in the air or off the seam, a little bit either way. So he's got a job here to do. There's Lakmal up against the Australian captain, who's on strike. Got a slip in. Rightio, time for the first one. There is that bit of movement. Warner is off the mark here, and so is Australia.
Well, they've come in their numbers. Even though Sri Lanka had lost the series, the interest is back. There's a bit of buzz. Fortunately, the Sri Lankans, though, disappointed once again, knowing exactly where they needed to improve. And that exact period of the game that they've let themselves down. David Warner. Well, that tells you the story. His series, high score of 19 so far.
Matty Wade's first one. Relish this, I reckon. Wadey likes the ball coming on. Up front to replace Aaron Finch, who dropped that catch. Wondered at the time, live, whether it carried. It did carry, in fact. That low, nasty height. Had to go to his right, Finch. Smashed the finger.
Yeah, this is that injury. That ball hardly got up. Nick. We need hotspot to see that nick though. But it did do some damage. There he is, Aaron Finch. He thought about it, then decided just can't continue and ran off. Very good at the top of the order. He's the one who's allowed Australia to take control early. Jeff Worrell, the team doctor, just having a word with the coach regarding the situation of Finch. Getting the ball to swing a bit. Bit of shape for Suranga Lakmal.
Yeah, that's what I like about Lakmal. Always enjoyed him at the top there, and he gets it right. A little bit of swing. Certainly conditions suiting that here tonight. Would have just liked a few more runs to play with the bowling attack of the Sri Lankans.
Well, they were bowled out in the 41st.
That is a peach. There it is. Almost on cue. The extra pace and a little bit of nibble.
Another slip, Danny. Another slip in place. And this is what you see here in Pallakali. When the lights come on and the evening session turns up, a bit of coolness. And there is an opportunity for the faster bowlers to get that ball through. Still the one slip.
Looking to go full, and good running. Good call, clear. Warner was quick to it. I was impressed with Chimera when he was out in New Zealand, or quick in Hamilton. It's a shame he's injured, eh?
Dusmanta Chamira. He started this test series in England and came back home injured. He's been out for a while. Hopefully for the next series, he'll be up and running. Great prospect.
Oh, bowl. Lovely full swinging delivery. Good start from Lakmal. 3 without loss after 1. Experience there at the top with Warner and Finch, but Finch injured with his finger. So we've got Matty Wade, the gloveman. He's coming to replace Finch. Useful for the Aussies to be able to do that. Here's another Pereira.
One of the surviving Pereiras, Dilruwan, opening the attack because 2 left-handers are in. The other seeming option in this Sri Lankan 11 is Dasun Shanaka. He's not express, but likes those nibbly conditions.
Intrigued to see how this goes, and it's a no-brainer really for Chanimal. 2 left-handers in, Pereira in with his flight. See if he can get the go off the straight with that proud scene. Hard ball. Just with a flight, at a loop. See what he can get off the straight.
Had a wander around during the break. Pitch looked good. Not many scratches. Having seen pitches here in Pallakali, still looked like one that would end up skidding on in the night session, in the evening session.
Yeah, a lot of cracks. You were out there for the toss, and I went out just to have a bit of a nosy. Catch up with Alan Donald. That is a beauty. Too good for Warner tonight at the moment. Ripper.
He played it well. There's not a lot you can do about this. He's covered the line of the stumps and let it spin past the edge of the bat. Hopefully he doesn't react to it. Through the test series, each time the ball turned, David Warner reacted. This is something you need to put out of your mind.
That's lovely too. Lovely follow-up with just the arm slider on the right hand of Pereira. A couple of balls ago. Where's that flight? Did well to back foot. Did go in the air. Only for a split second. Goes to one of his go-to shots. Yeah, nice. Really nice. Calm, collected, smart batting from the captain.
Spot on. Calm and collected. That's what he's not been so far. From outside the off stump, he picked the line well. Stayed on it to make sure he got decent bat. There is a slip in place, so he's got to get it well. 8 for no loss.
Wade. Oh, yes. Looking to go wide over mid-wicket. There is no one out there. Any man on that side is fine leg. He looked to try and hoist it. Well, they're going about the Aussies resting a lot of their players, and big summer coming up down under. Sri Lanka. Now they've got a handful of one-days against Zimbabwe, but the big full series in South Africa to the Sri Lankans. Another good one. Big appeal, but I think a bit of woodwork. An inside edge.
Definite inside edge, no doubt about it. But making Wade hurry. Ball certainly skidding on.
Yes, good seam position. Nice release from Lakmal. I think he knows just there. Got excited and then choked off the appeal. They reckon it is. Now, provided you can knock the top off of the Aussie top order. It's a good start this to the third over. 3 dots on the trot. Yeah, we're mentioning there, Rusty went out with centre and saw Alan Donald. Caught up with him, and of course he's consulting these days with the IPL, but he's on this assignment, and then he finishes with the Aussie team. So David Saker coming in and making it full time. So AD gets to go home for a while, have a rest. Not for long, I reckon. Of course, Champakanaka, Champers, I like to call him. He's bowling coach, but I just wonder whether the likes of the Sri Lankan think tank possibly use Alan Donald to some degree when Sri Lanka tour his home nation there in South Africa. One-day record, outstanding. One of the greats of the modern era. So, be surprised. Graham Ford and co. think about using Alan Donald.
Certainly is a good idea. They're trying to get a good group together to guide the Sri Lankan bowlers. Champaka Ramanayak over the years has done a very good job. And Chaminda Vaz is also back in the coaching unit to work with the younger Sri Lankan bowlers, especially in the grassroots. But on the other hand, resources are also an issue. He gets that through. Didn't get all of it, David Warner. Have to settle for 2. It's 11 for no loss.
Finch, I don't think will come in at first drop. It's a nice start. A little bit of flight again from Pereira.
You're just going back to the point you made, Danny. Resources are also an issue, and Sri Lanka are not in a position to do things like what Australia or England. They've gone up. They really think it's come off the bat, but umpire Alim Dar is unmoved.
You really think so, Chanders? Go upstairs, there you go. If you're that confident, that's available for you. And he has asked the question to say, yep, we're going for a bit of DRS.
He's not overstepped this time.
Yeah. He did, didn't he? Up there in Dambulla. Cardinalson.
Ooh, glove. Ooh. That's glove.
Absolutely. Change of decision. There you go. Confirmation. Passed on by Michael Goff upstairs, the TMO. Television match official has said, yep, has brushed the dub. They're all up. Adamant.
Yeah, good work from Kusal Pereira. Just followed the line of the ball. Yes, he was blinded by Matthew Wade, but he kept going. Nicely taken by Pereira. It's a big wicket. They had to go upstairs, but they've got one of the better players of spin, Matthew Wade, for 3. Sri Lanka have struck Australia 11 for 1.
Well, this is good for Sri Lanka because it's a lefty for a lefty. Wade out. Now you get the left-handed Usman Khawaja. He's fresh off a duck from Dambulla. So he's got a bit racing through the veins here, I reckon. There you go. That'll feel real good for Usman Khawaja. Off the mark and off strike.
Big one, big one. Bit of deflection. Kusal Pereira following it all the way through.
And spare a thought there for Alim Dar. It's down the line. Those are difficult. Well, none down. Sri Lanka. It's 73, and then all of a sudden there was 79 for 3. 3 wickets in the 70s. Sri Lanka. Now they need to do something similar to Australia, but Warner zip one out the point. They're going to hustle back. Khawaja not the quickest, but he gets there.
He did a good throw. Dasun Shanaka did well. I beg your pardon, Dhanushka Gunatilaka. But needed the throw by the stumps, and he would have had his man.
And the other thing, Rusty, was testing out that hamstring of Khawaja's. Was the Aussie captain saying, listen, Usma, come back, son. Wasn't going that flat out in that first one there, Khawaja. Now he's sucking in the 0-2. Needs to take a bit of time here. Impose himself like these guys. A few deep breaths. Take Garden front up. Lovely little tickle around the corner. Short leg in, and the line was slightly off. And this will feel good for Usman Khawaja as well.
He read that well. Look at him get outside the line. You know you can't miss it. You know you're taking a chance. Just got to make sure you get a little bit of back because there's no one behind square on the leg side. Short leg is in place.
Yes.
He's borrowed the broom from Matthew Wade.
Yeah, Matty Wade passed it on to him as he came out to the centre there. Khawaja. Good start with this over. 8 already. Halfway through it. It's over to Davey Warner. Busy as ever.
He's on the shorter side. Dilron Pereira, he's got to be careful. He's expecting David Warner to come at him. Hence, His length just not where he should be. Warner holding back. Warner happy to play him off the back foot. Short fine leg comes in place to stop Khawaja playing that sweep.
And the man at 45, just going a little bit finer. Oh, here we go! There we go! Khawaja looking to hoist it away in the power play, has perished.
The crowd come alive. Once again, umpire Alinda wants to have a look at that front foot of Dilruwan Pereira's. But this was brought about by the change in the field. Way behind. Not sure why we'd be looking at that. The short fine leg came into play. And straight away, Usman Khawaja played a different shot against the turn. Getting your feel right, very important. Usman Khawaja, his struggles continue here in Sri Lanka, out for 6, 25 for 2.
They've got Bailey now, out in the middle. George Bailey at number 4, where he's had a very good time of it. He's been the standout for my money in terms of Australians with application and crucial times. He's got runs, and he's here because Usman Khawaja's had a rush of blood and dancing down. Crazy.
Shot never on. It was way outside off stump. Dilruwan Pereira is an off-break bowler. That gap at short mid-wicket was far too inviting for Khawaja. Well, this is the partnership Sri Lanka need to break. George Bailey, contender for man of the series, I would say, with the runs he's made.
I'm with you. Straight away, just knocks it into a gap, nice and simple. George Bailey's going to keep the strike as well. 6 done, 26 for 2.
Dilruwan Pereira continues. Just angling the ball into the left-hander. Few hands go up in excitement.
David Warner, the man not in form at the moment, and had some good shots and some few mishaps, but at the moment Australia 2 for 29, so some pressure on.
30 for 2 at the moment. Dilruwan Pereira has been a little bit short. This is 2 balls ago. Just looking to play that cut shot, just looking for that space outside the off stump. I think his problem has been that he's looked to fire the ball in, and as a result of it, he's just bowled a little bit too short. But he's conscious of the fact that he's bowling in the power plays. So he's not really looking to loop it up and get the batsman coming down the pitch. 2 fielders for protection outside the 30-yard circle. With Bailey on strike, both of them are on the leg side. A leg slip in.
Bailey's been the man in form. Always been coming in under pressure in the middle overs, and we saw that in Dan Buller as well. Great partnership with Travis Head. Calm, cool influence he's been. He loves that shot all the time. Half a chance. Maybe if a direct hit, David Warner would have been in trouble.
Yes, Sri Lanka will be hoping that they'll be able to pounce on such opportunities. This was a very fine shot, adapted by him. Very effective, I should say. The sweep, the reverse and the conventional sweep. Yes, a direct hit would have been tight. Had to drag it from wide to the stumps. That allowed the split second Warner to get back. Oh, that's much better. It's much better. Like to look at the pace he bowled. That was pushed through again a little bit quicker.
It's quite difficult to face that, isn't it? It's a new ball, it's skidding in. Look, it just hits and goes on, doesn't actually turn away. David Warner's waiting for the turn. That's where you leave that bat pad gap and get bowled. Half a shout. It's a good over. 8 overs now, it's 31 for 2.
green worm dipping just a little bit. Sri Lankan worm just rising just under up to just under 200. So the Australians have a bit of climbing to do. 196 the target. Lakmal has been good. He's really come onto the bat quite quickly. Bailey on strike. He's hurried the batsman. He's really hurried the batsman.
Well, he's in the mid-130s, so that's good pace, and I think the lights are on, and the wicket's been coming through, new ball, skiddy. It's quite hard for batsmen, first of all, when they walk in. But he's been running in, he's had great energy. There's his fastest, 140. He's once bowling 135 plus, going to hurry up some batsmen. Average speed is fantastic. It's around the mid-130s.
Yes, he's running hard and given it everything. He's bowling with a slip. Bailey has been the batsman, real thorn for Sri Lanka. And so far, he's been wicket to wicket. That's the key, I think, making him play.
Big key. Make the batsman play early on with a new ball. Australia's under pressure. Score might look not much to chase, but in these conditions, spinners will come into it later on. Get into the Australian middle order. Make George Bailey play every delivery.
He's taken his time, Bailey. Australia can afford to do that because they're not chasing something very big here, just 196. And again, you could see that line, just probing back of a length. Having Bailey, just getting him to play all the time.
It's a great challenge. Bailey, a man in form. He's come from Dambulla. Here the conditions are different. Now he's 3 off 10. Lakmal's all over him, bowling good line, good length. Look at all that. It's all grouped. Very good position. Same to left-handers is very good. Be very happy with that. You look at that, the bowling coach getting his areas right.
The grouping has been good. He's been wicket to wicket. He's been just around the length area or back of the length. He's not given the width that the batsmen have been looking for. Particularly Warner loves the width outside the off stump. Bailey has been kept in check here.
Right, at the moment, none for 11. Good numbers. There he is to left-handers and right-handers. Look at that economy rate. 20 deliveries to left-handers, only 8 runs. Very good.
Just that little slide down the leg side, but again the idea is right. Just looking to bowl more middle and leg. This has been a top over. Just made the batsman play at every ball.
It's a tough period at the moment. Australian batsmen, they've got to work their way through it. That's what happens. It's 50 over cricket. There's tons of time. Sri Lankan bowlers are on top. No runs this over at all. They've got to fight their way through it.
The last ball of the over. Great over. Great over from Lakmal. A real working over for Bailey. 31 for 2. We got a good game here. Australia still need another 165. Well, that difference doesn't really seem to suggest the battle out there.
Well, the key is David Warner as well. Not in form. We've seen those numbers series, so doing well at the moment. Captain, he'll want to be there, set the example, and get some runs for himself.
He's really skidding on. He's hurrying on. And that delivery, now that was pushed through quicker, and Warner was on the back foot, just beaten off the pitch.
Got to be very careful there that he was finishing and practicing the straight bat when it's short, because I think what happens is you see it short, you go back to play cross batted, and it skids on.
Good mix, excellent mix. I thought the previous delivery was pushed through quicker. This one ball a little bit slower and a much better length. It's getting him to push forward. This time, that's frustration. That is frustration. Warner really looking to try and just get runs of Dilruan Pereira. Hit on the pad, had to push forward. This time the reverse sweep. Oh, great delivery. That's a great delivery. It dipped and also spun and bounced.
This is wickets in Sri Lanka. Look at that. Beautifully bowled, turned away. Perfect off-spin delivery, except didn't find the outside edge. What's Warner going to do? Crowd waiting.
So Warner being tied up. Well, they're happy, aren't they? They're certainly very happy. They got something to cheer about. They got excitement. Living in hope. Excellent over. Very good over again. Nice line and length. And this is the lowest for Australia in the power plays. 31 for 2. So now it's 4 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. So Sri Lanka will have some breathing space. So that's a surprise. Where did he turn up from? Had swung away, but he's got protection. But yes, this is the lowest for any team in the power plays. The first 10 overs in this series, that is, with back-to-back maidens from Lakmal and Dilruan Pereira.
One of the reasons for Australia is Finch not there with the finger injury. So they lose that, and they've changed their batting lineup around. Wade opened. It was an interesting move as well. Maybe Khawaja could have opened.
Warner on strike. Again, he seemed to be... Oh, he wants a single here. Oh my goodness me. That could have been close. He was looking for a non-existent single.
Trying to get off strike, David Warner. Struggling at the moment. Thought yes, called loud, and then, lucky for him, he was running on the wicket. Spikes dug in. Watch here, there he turns. Diving back. You can feel it, can't you? The tension, something's going to break. Is it going to be Australia getting away just one good over, maybe a few boundaries, or is it going to be Sri Lanka picking up another wicket? They're thinking wicket. They want wicket. This crowd does. They want to win to finish the series. They might have lost it already, but they'd like to finish in a positive note.
Excellent crowd. They turned up in their numbers. Well, the cell phone thing. That's the latest, isn't it? The lights on, or I mean, it makes a fantastic sight. The lights right round the ground with the cell phones on, or at least the cell phone light on. It's a nice touch. Just gets a single, just waiting for the ball to come on to him. That time, no hurry really. He was just waiting for the ball and then just working it behind square leg.
Yeah, good phones in Sri Lanka. I put my light on for that for 5 minutes. There's dead battery. That's great with the lights on, isn't it? There we have the wickets. Gave it wide. It was 2 wickets for 31 runs, and then it got changed. It was all happening. And then Khawaja came in, and then he went against the spin. The golden rule, isn't it? Didn't hit with it, outside edge, and he was gone.
That's a look at the game. Sri Lanka 195. No real big score there. Australia in reply 36 for 2. Sajid Pathirana one of Sri Lanka's heroes. The last game came up with a good all-round performance. 3 for 37, his best was recorded in the last game at Dambulla. Got some runs low down the order and got some more runs here. He got 32. Was last man out. The ball with a leg slip with the left-handers on strike. Got a lot of protection outside the 30-yard circle. Wee bit short. Starts off with a slightly short delivery. Sajid Patirana had a great start to his comeback career. Was out of the side for a while. Brought back and made things happen straight away. This was Finch, LBW. That was the first one, and then Khawaja, the second. And this was the third. Warner, completely done by a delivery that tipped and spun. Those are the 3 wickets he's got.
What a spell. It was all happening there. We had Finch batting a certain way, wickets falling down the other end. Fantastic performance. That delivery to Warner was just perfect. Did him in flight.
Just a bit toughish, but in the gap, they're running the first run hard. They want to come back for 2. They may turn for 3. I think they're quite happy with 2. But just a little bit too short, Patirana. And this pace was ideal in the last game where the pitch was gripping and turning, but I sometimes wonder that he needs to go a little bit fuller. Get the batsman playing on the front, but still these are the first 2 deliveries. Started off just a bit short.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of that one that got Warner. Especially now, entice Warner down the wicket. I'd be throwing it up, around off stump, above his eye line, trying to get him come down the wicket. Mid-off is up. Mid-on's back. Mid-wicket is out.
Like to see him bowl outside the off stump and maybe spin it back, because anything on the stumps, Warner will look to work it away, because there are lots of gaps on the leg side. Just like that. Just allows him to get on the back foot and work with whatever turn the ball might present to him. But anything outside the off stump and spinning back will be a different story for him.
So maybe his line could go a bit sort of off stump or just outside, turning in, trying to get him to go to the offside, because it is turning. So you get too straight, it becomes easy as a batsman just to sort of go back and work it for a 1.
Now to the right hand, he's giving a little bit more space. Now I would think that's the line he needs to bowl to the left hand and spin it back from outside the off stump. And as you said, maybe get the left hand interested in the offside, driving against the turn. Just create that element of risk. Because Sri Lanka needs wickets here. They can't just be looking to bowl only dot balls. That's more like it. That's exactly the line. They'll still get a single, but that's the line he needs to bowl. 7 runs off the over, 43 for 2. Straight to the man at mid-off. That's a bit of a dangerous length to bowl when you have mid-off and mid-on up. And Shanaka not been really express.
Well, Shanaka's got to back up Lakmar what he's done. He had his 6 overs for 16, so now it's important. Don't let Warner off. He was going along to run a ball at one stage. This partnership is now only 18 of 40 deliveries. So if you're part of the fielding group and the bowling group, you can feel that you've built some great pressure. Can you get an opportunity?
Oh, that's better. That's better. Looking for that Yorker, wicketkeeper standing up. That's what he should have done. He's pushed the mid-off back. Just that hint of inward movement. I would have thought if he was looking to get that drive from Warner, or looking to aim at that drive, should have been having at least a slick to the outside edge with a newish ball. Now mid-off is out of the boundary. Long off, mid-on is in. Keeper standing up. An easy single. Pulling that length delivery.
good sensible batting. I think David Warner knows if he bats out the 50 overs, they will be there. So it's a good test for him because he's used to hitting a run a ball or more, being attacking, scoring more boundaries. He's only got a strike rate of 59. But these are the innings. It's great. We all know he can be an attacking player. Now he's captain. Love the responsibility of that job, plus being there at the end.
Now a slip with the right hand in, mid-off, mid-on in 30-yard circle. Hasn't really found any movement so far.
This is where it's a batsman, isn't it? George Ballard is saying, please just give me a half volley or some width. I just want to get off strike. I want to find a boundary. But once again, new bowler comes on and it's off stump. Good line.
But he would like to have a little bit of movement. We haven't seen the movement that Lakmal got for Dasun Chanak as yet. But yes, you're right. It's the off stump just back of a length. Again with that slip in, that will be an interesting option line to bowl. Just looking to get that ball away from the right hand and just looking to find that outside edge.
Test the patience. That's what it is for Bailey and Warner at the moment. Even for the Sri Lankan bowlers. Something's going to go. 18 runs now from the last 41 deliveries.
Straight to the man at cover. Still no runs for Bailey. 44 for 2. The Australian worm slightly below that blue line, which is the Sri Lankan worm. Sri Lanka going at just under 4 runs and over. 195 all out. Wasted 10 overs. Should be very disappointed that they didn't utilize the balanced 60 balls. Now Pathirana continues with Warner on strike with a leg slip. Needs to bowl outside the off stump or that off stump line. They're asking the question. I don't think they were very confident about it. That was an attempted sweep. I don't think. I think that just took the pad.
Well, I think because it turns so much, doesn't it? It goes to leg slip that I think he hits it. Here Warner goes down. Close to the glove. Always a hard one there.
It's a loud appeal. Bit of bat. It's ever so close. Look at the split screen. Just there. Doesn't seem to be daylight.
Just like that Kusal Pereira dismissal in the test match at the SSC, Russ. Well, if Sri Lanka were convinced, they could have gone upstairs for a review. They've still got one left. Lovely pick-up by Bailey, and it's just over the man at deep square leg. It was wonderfully timed. Brings up the 50.
Oh, he knew it. The fielder was in business. I thought he misjudged it for a moment, and that's a very good fielder out there. Kusal Mendes it is. But a welcome boundary though. That's what matters. Bailey is still there.
Just wonder, Russ, if he actually hit it better than he thought.
But that smile after the shot told you the story. His heart would have been in his mouth. Mendes just charged a little bit. It's tough to pick up the ball early. Need a wicket. Wickets are the key.
2 down Australia, but no sign of Aaron Finch as yet. Oh, well fielded at extra cover. Oh, but then misfielded at mid-off by Lakmal. And they'll come back for 3.
Amazing, all the hard work done. The skipper, the stand-in skipper, got a hand to it, but Lakmal, oh boy, he wouldn't want to see this again.
Bailey sweeps, Warner sweeps fine, reverse sweeps. And they'll come back for 3. Shot not without risk with a slip-in position there, but he managed to play it effectively.
He likes that line.
Oh, he's flogged that through extra cover, David Warner. Perhaps the best shot he's played this evening. Cracker.
Just something was happening the previous over. Didn't need Dilruwan Pereira to fire that in. Fires that in, goes even quicker off David Warner's bat. He's got to slow it down, he's got to relax.
This has been a real fighting partnership. Now moving on to 60. There we have it, right on cue for Danny. And it's going to be a boundary. Good shot, David Warner. He's gone long. They've had to fight hard. He's had to fight hard as well. His strike rate is 70, just as you mentioned.
He plays the orthodox in terms of the difficulty factor with this one, but the orthodox he's got to develop. Seen him smash those for 6. I think I recall a Big Bash game and also an Australian international there at Homebush in Sydney. Set the ball out of the park. Switch hit off a medium pace. It wasn't flat out quick. But in terms of the orthodox one, he's not so adept. Right at the reversey. Powerful bat of his and those forearms. And he just does that. So works it onto the leg side, noodles it. Something I think he's been working on, as has Bailey. Bailey doesn't look a natural sweeper. They have been working on developing a more orthodox sweep stroke. Again, hit a boundary. No risk factor needed. 22 done, 89 for 2 here. Ticking along. The tourists. Ponzo. Has he got some magic up his sleeve? So 2 for 25 at one stage. I was wondering if they could have the Aussies 3 for 40, get into the contest a bit more. Now, there's that flashing blade and the 50 for the skipper. Don't have to hustle for 3. 2 will do, and there it is for DW. Captain Warner hanging tough.
It's a clap. It's much needed runs in this series. It's been tough for him. He's 16th, 1 day 50. But this series, he's been struggling to find a run. That strike rate 69. It's been tough going, but it's well fought. It's through. It's through everybody. The batsman, the keeper. It's going to run away. Is it going to be enough? It is. A boundary. Thought buys for a minute, but it's found the outside edge. There's the Danny Morrison theory. Where's the slip?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, got a leg slip in. I'm sorry, Dinesh Chandimal. Got to be aggressive, and you've got this guy on who asks questions. So in a way, this young bowler, Aponzo, I'm going to say, hey, buddy, be brave. Ask the captain to have a slip in. There was the opportunity. Horses bolted. Now you got first slip come in, and 45 go across as a fine. Well, he's not 45, he's even finer than that, so short fine leg. 100 comes up, as well as Warner getting his second half century in 12 innings in the subcontinent. That's how tough it's been for Davey Warner.
Yeah, much suited. He likes the wickets of the ball coming on, and he'll take a lot from this series. You need this. You need to work on your game, play in different conditions. And we know how good a player he is. He's an outstanding player for Australia in all forms of the game. You're allowed to have moments, you're allowed to have series where it's quite tough. He's worked his way through it. I think he loves the captaincy. Loves to be that leader.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Nardo. I think he likes the challenge. So adding to his game, he's an experienced player now. He captains the Sunrisers in the Indian Premier League, and they tasted that very sweet taste of victory with long Tom Moody, coach, VVS Lakshman, mentor of the Sunrisers. So here he is getting an opportunity because Stephen Smith has gone back to Australia. Flashing little cover drive that is going to race away for a boundary to finish this over in style. A dozen from the 24th, and the Aussies are 105 for 2. Khawaja, the last man out, the score was at 25. Fans a little subdued. Some chanting and clapping and willing one on. Almost goes for 6. A skimmer from Warner here.
This is the danger now for Sri Lanka. Warner's done all the hard work. He's taken enough deliveries. He's in. And last over just clicked for him. And now he takes advantage of the short delivery. One bounce into the fence. 12 runs off the last over, 7 so far off this one. 2 to go.
That is flat batted down the ground. That's what Warner does to you. Damien Martin's got a nice little stat here.
It's now the highest score by an Australian captain. It was 69 by Ricky Ponting at Dambulla, where we were in 2004. I was actually there, I think. It's a long time ago.
Get you out of the cage. You were there.
Yeah, I was 21 then. That is interesting, isn't it? It's quite a low score, 69 by an Australian captain. So on these shores. So David Warner going along nicely now. Getting into his groove. His strike rate was down to 50 at one stage. Now it's up to close to 90.
Hustling for 2. No, it's not. Bailey with a great call. Loud and proud from George Bailey. There's no mix-up there. And another big stat too. Mark Taylor's 94 back in 1992 is still the best score by an Australian batsman in a one-day international in Sri Lanka. 90-92. Score of 94, and of course Bailey himself with that 90 not out in the previous match. The left high and drive as the game was over. When you mention that 69 from Ricky Ponting, captain, it just shows you how tough it is. It runs, and the other thing about it, I think you look at Sri Lanka and how they probably lift themselves another notch, take their performance, lift the bar as it were, against well, has often been the case, the Aussies. Very difficult to beat in this form of the game over the last 20 odd years. Sounded good. Sounded really good for only 1.
Brings up the 100 partnership. Well done to George Bailey and David Warner, and there'll be a shake of the hand, a little bit of relief. It was 2 for 25 it was when Bailey came in.
Cruising along rather nicely here, the Australians. Captain 75 and 0. He's getting some good practice. George Bailey, take a bow, finishes the 28th over, 9 from it, 134 for 2 now.
The Australian worm looking in very good order there. There's 62 more runs required for victory. Sri Lanka need wickets. They need lots of them, and they need them quickly.
Well, quite a few have given up by the looks of it. Lanka were 134 for 5 though after 28 overs.
Slip in position. 4. Just a fraction short, and David Warner is regaining his touch.
It's about hanging in there, and hang in there he did. Longer you spend out there, and then suddenly something clicks. And life is good once again. That's what you see with David Warner. He's bowled well. Turanga Lakmal in these conditions. Officials of Sri Lanka cricket. Telanga Sumatipala, the president right in the middle. Being right behind the team. Trying to encourage them to better things.
That's good at backward point, very good indeed.
We saw some of the crowd leave. It's about moments. Even that crowd sense that Sri Lanka have missed that moment. 113 run partnership and the strike rate growing. Because Australia now quietly gaining control.
David Warner last scored a century for Australia on the 11th of June when he made 109 against South Africa in St Kitts and Nevis. Same day he broke his left index finger. Since then, this is just his second half century.
Just looking at the progressive worm, the wickets fell, then you can see it dip. That's the period where these two batsmen absorbed pressure, dug themselves in, looked to survive, then quietly they take control. You can do that when you're chasing a score of 195. 250, 260, don't get that margin. These two batsmen have identified that, Brian.
Russ, it seems to have been one of the abiding stories of this whole series, the fact that Sri Lanka have never got enough runs batting first.
Yes, they know they got to get to 250, got themselves into a position and then lost it. David Warner, the breakdown of how he gets his runs. Well, numbers tell its story. 82. After he got to 50, basically taken off, getting quicker and quicker. Wants to get to that 100 as soon as possible.
Up in the air, he's got under that one. Just going to plug. But it'll still run away, and that's a good bit of work. That's Patirana chasing that one back. They'll take 3. I think the umpires will want to have another look at that to make sure that Patirana didn't go over the boundary.
Well, he did. After knocking the ball in, he's safe. But knowing where the spaces are, that's what David Warner is doing really well. Hitting the gaps now.
Should be okay, I think. Indeed it is. Up to 85 now, Warner. 92 balls. His strike rate increasing all the time, up to 92 runs per 100 balls. Bailey now on strike. It's a good over for Australia. 7 more runs from it. They need just another 55 for victory. 141 for 2. Exactly as Russell Arnold was saying, Australia built the platform, and now they're pressing on. The 10 overs from overs 21 to 30. 66 they scored. Terrific batting. This pair have now added 119 for the 3rd wicket. Dilruwan Pereira back into the attack. You almost feel as though this is a last throw of the dice from Dinesh Chandimal.
It's been a month, or a little more than a month, of hat-tricks. I mean, Stark was on a hat-trick today.
That'll be 4 more to David Warner. Good effort from Lakmal, but he was never going to cut that one off. And Warner into the 90s.
Probably hat-trick of boundaries if you keep bowling like that. Bowled well in his first spell, but after that Sri Lanka needed Dilruwan Perera to lift as the senior bowler, as the go-to bowler. But with the change in role, he really has struggled a bit.
Good running from Warner. Aggressive running. Wants the second. And I have to say, Russ, that Sri Lanka are looking pretty deflated out there at the moment.
Yes, they are. Even Percy. But David Warner, a lot of energy. He's busy. He's got through that period of difficulty. He now wants to make it count. He wants to get to the 3-figure mark as soon as he can. 150 up for Australia. It's very strange how players react differently depending on their roles. That's why it's important to define your role in the team. For example, bowling units get the spearhead, who the captain always goes to, who's the leader of the attack, who bowls in difficult times. And there are others who are good in supporting roles. And when you look at the Sri Lankan attack, Dilruwan Perera has to bear the mantle of the go-to man. But in a supporting role behind Herath, for example, seems to be bowling with beautiful rhythm and great control. Just not sure he has that X factor to lead an attack.
There's the record for David Warner, going past Mark Taylor's score of 94, which was made at the P. Sarah Stadium in Colombo on the 15th of August 1992. Warner now holds the record for the highest score by Australian batsman in Sri Lanka in a one-day international.
There we have it. George Bailey's 90 almost made it in Dambulla.
It's cute from Bailey. Just the single. He'll keep the strike. 31 overs have gone. Australia cruising. 154 for 2. Well, it's been really good work by this third wicket pair for Australia. David Warner and George Bailey. 130 they've added. Dilruwan Perera in his last over. Make that 131, the partnership now. Russell, what have these Australian batsmen done? Obviously, apart from scoring lots of runs in this stand, that Sri Lanka haven't done consistently through the series.
Well, Sri Lanka have failed to build partnerships, but what I see different, the Australian batting compared to the batting in the test matches, is that they've been happier to sit back in the crease, look to get deep in the crease. The test matches, you were here, Brian. Every ball you felt they were rushing down the pitch. But you haven't seen that in the ODIs. They haven't looked to hit over the top all the time. But yes, Finch did it at the top of the order. But other than that, it's the sweep shot. We spoke a lot about the sweep shot. Nowadays, the reverse sweep is also so useful that has got the bowlers off their lengths.
Oh, he's out. The finger's gone up. Umpire Paliagurege raises the finger. Had a long think about it. And Bailey and Warner deciding whether to review. And Bailey says yes, let's go upstairs.
As we talk about the sweep shot goes wrong, Brian. But I think Paliagurege has got this right because it's very full. He's actually yorked himself, hasn't he?
It was probably too full to sweep. The question is, has it pitched outside leg stump?
And it's also turning. I think it could be missing leg stump. We'll have to wait and see. But initially the umpire needs to make sure, the third umpire needs to make sure there's no bat on it. clear daylight, well away from the bat. Now it's got to miss the stumps because he's been given out on the field. You're right. Pitch map will only tell us it's pitched outside leg stump.
Michael Goff is the third umpire. He's happy there's no edge on that. So we're just waiting for ball tracking now to determine A, whether the ball is pitched in line with the stumps, and B, whether it's turning too much.
It's amazing. Just yorked himself with that particular delivery, a lot fuller. Just as we were talking up the shot, and how much or what good it has done to the Australian game.
Ball tracking, it's pitched in line, impact in line as well, and it's clipping the leg stump. Now remember, umpire Palagurage gave Bailey out, so it's going to stay with that decision. And George Bailey goes, and Sri Lanka have finally broken this third wicket partnership. Bailey out for 44, but a terrific series for him with the bat. He's the leading run scorer on either side, but he departs now. And Australia, there's still a little bit of work to do. 157 for 3. Travis Head, still very much in the early stages of his one-day international career. He's made a couple of important contributions in this series. And he's coming out now to help Australia get across the line. They still need 39. He's coming in because George Bailey has departed. We've been singing the praises of him for his sweep shot. He missed here.
They've got the length wrong. That length, he should be looking to play the pedal rather than hit it hard. But don't stop playing that sweep shot. It's done a lot for you. You just got yourself out just the once. But that's the shot that's put the bowlers under pressure.
Just a little bit too full for the purpose, getting over the top of it.
Slip. And let's see if another catcher will be used by Chandimal. Dilruwan Pereira has 2 overs, 2 balls in his spell. 3 for 50 to the off spinner.
It's all 3 wickets in this innings going to him. Now he's got those 3 wickets. He has been quite expensive. Hasn't quite got the right pace to bowl on this surface this evening, you would say. Remember, he bowled Travis Head in Dambulla, only for Head to be reprieved because of a no ball. Single off the last ball of the over. That's the end of Dilruwan Pereira. 3 for 51 for him. Head will keep the strike. He's off the mark. It's 158 for 3. David Warner just 4 runs away from what would be his 7th one-day international 100. You know, he's the 23rd one-day international captain for Australia, and prior to him only 3 captains have won their first 3 matches in charge in this form of the game. 4 men in green and gold: Adam Gilchrist, Michael Clarke and Steve Smith. Can he make it 4 with 3 successive victories in his first 3 matches as the leader of the side? Great achievement that would be. Travis Head, though, is on strike with a leg slip and a slip. Patirana, the bowler.
We were talking about what Sri Lanka need to do, looking to the Champions Trophy, etc. I think a bit of continuity, sticking to plans. It's a bit too much cutting and chopping. Oh, this could be tight. Warner was late in taking off, but I guess Travis Head had judged that to perfection. Lots of players losing their place after one game. Now that doesn't give a good feel, because you need to trust. You don't want to be under pressure and have the fear of failure.
19 players, Russ, used in this series by Sri Lanka.
And a couple of opening batsmen in the middle order. That's Kusal Pereira, Pul Taranga. Still feel get them in their right positions. Still feel Milinda Sirivardhana is good in the middle overs. Be useful going forward together with Chandimal and Angelo Matthews to make that middle order or lower middle order very strong. Even with the bowlers, continuity, it's confidence. That you trust your game, trust your roles. And we're big on winning moments. So the more they gel together, the more they can trust each other as well in a team, is when you are able to win those moments. I remember you spoke to Aaron Finch today before the game, and that was something he mentioned. We want the big moments. That's an area I think Sri Lanka need to be patient with and build some trust. You don't want the players to feel that they risk being dropped if they fail in one game or have one go.
Warner on 97. Yes, I know the Australian selectors are of a view that we need to get a core together towards that Champions Trophy.
Well, in continuity, even in the Test series, the two openers failed miserably, but they stuck with them, and Kaushal Silva came up with a match-winning 100, and now suddenly life looks different. So sometimes you need to back your players and stick to your plans. 162 for 3.
David Warner 2 away from what would be his third one-day international 100 against Sri Lanka. Got 163 in Brisbane on the 4th of March 2012, and 2 days later he got an even 100. That was at the Adelaide Oval. Dhananjaya De Silva. Warner up to 99.
Just looking at the comparison, even game. Sri Lanka lost 6 wickets. Innings goes nowhere when that happens.
Mid-off and mid-on now up in the circle. It's a slip-in position as well. So Chandimal trying to put some pressure on the new batsman.
Gets the captain on strike. Don't keep him waiting. Very early call from Travis Head.
.99 to David Warner. There's a short extra cover in position.
He's also got mid-on in the circle, trying to prevent that single. He's got 99, and it's amazing how batsmen tend to struggle to get that extra run or two when it comes close to a milestone. Would it worry David Warner?
Travis Head was quick off the mark there at the non-striker's end, but Warner said no.
Doesn't seem to be worried at all. Confidence is back. T20 is coming up. He's woken up at the right time, David Warner.
There it is, David Warner's 7th one-day international 100, his 3rd against Sri Lanka, his first in international cricket since June. He's back, and he loves it.
More in relief. Very well played by David Warner. Had to battle early, but he was up for it. That's what you do when you're a champion player. It's 165 for 3.
Turns down there very quickly. So buy signal by Alindar. David Warner, first Aussie to get a one-day 100 in Sri Lanka. Goes past Mark Taylor's 94 back in 1992. I think everyone in that Australian dressing room and dugout fully aware of that case. Damien Martin.
Big achievement, and I think you can just see by that reaction, it's not the usual jump in the air, and it's a serious face. He was here to do a job, and it's been tough work. And he is loving the leadership at the moment since taking over. Amazing to think that no one's got 100 for an Australian in Sri Lanka. Much well-deserved one. That's going to take Australia to a 4-1 lead. Or into series. Already won in Dan Buller, but they're going to finish it off in style here in Kandy. So very good. Been a fantastic performance. George Bailey has been outstanding as well this series. All the Australian bowlers. Stark, the usual. Zampa was fantastic.
Too short, but the usual protection. But it cover sweeping. I've got Rajneesh Gupta. I've got him on the case. How many day games have Australia played here before the lights became more prevalent here in Sri Lanka? So when you think about day games, and why I ask that question, is the heat factor. Guys running out of juice in the tank. It is 70 for 3 here now. Well, since Australia coming to these parts in 82, 83, some time when Sri Lanka got test status, been told 17 day games. Thank you, Reg. 17 day games. You think about the tough climate it is and the energy sapping heat here in Sri Lanka, and playing on pitches that are certainly going to go off the straight. That is a given into this part of the world. Spinners have a say. Get very low as well. Emphasising the point that Warner's the first to get to 3 figures in this form of the game.
There's always some interesting stats to come out, isn't there? Cricket, you never thought that. But he's done well, and he toughed it out early on because it wasn't easy when he was batting. Got through that. Fought hard with Bailey. At one moment we mentioned his strike rate was down as low as 50, David Warner. And all of a sudden it's got up to 90, 103 of 115. Good shot. Travis Head, the youngster, not many games, but he's a quality player. And that was fantastic boundary.
All part of the learning curve for Travis Head. There's some flight. Gets the dancing shoes on and gets down the pitch. Breezy little stroke. Confidence there. Met the ball and, geez, it came back. Fair amount of velocity. Yeah, 132. Bailey and Warner, that partnership, and really was the breaking of the back of the Sri Lankans and their attack, as it were, trying to get wickets, get back in this contest after having Australia 2 for 25.
They've been impressed with Travis Head. He's had some good partnerships with Bailey in Dan Buller in tough conditions. Young kid from South Australia, the youngest captain for South Australia he was, or is. So it's been a good learning curve for him. Good piece of fielding to finish 37th over. It's 176 for 3.
195 in 40 overs. So we're going at 4.8 runs per over. They got bowled out. All batters got into the 30s. So it was never ever going to be enough on this surface that I'd say Nardo looks one of the better ones in this one-day series.
It is, because we saw that great bounce early on when the Australian bowlers are bowling. There we have, joining the flags. Just thought they'd change over. They might not be able to walk out of the ground with that flag. Be gone. I'm sure I'll take that. Danny Morrison will have that in his bedroom. Now that you've joined the Aussie Brigade.
I thought you meant the Sri Lankan flag.
Oh, you want the Sri Lankan one? Runs. Legs slip. I'll pick up a couple more. But I've been impressed, as I said, Travis Head. 7th one day, 126 runs at 31, and then a couple of wickets, 3 wickets at 28, so doing it with the ball as well. So he's a good addition to the Australian team.
Happy to tink things along here. Australia, that is. Just the 17 required. Sterling stuff from the skipper. 38 bowled, it's 1, 79 for 3. Wade, Kawaja combined, couldn't get double figures. Bailey got 44, partnership of 132 with the skipper, David Warner. It was 103. Travis Head. It's a full toss and is going to just keep walking back to the pavilion. What a show.
Yes, always the way, the praise, and then he gets the full toss and he's disappointed. The full toss straight down deep mid-on's throat. Right at the end when Australia just needed 17 runs to win. He could have hit it anywhere, couldn't he, really? So not his night tonight. And that's the call. It's been given out. Full tosses always get wickets. That's not his night tonight, Travis Head. He will go for his 13. And now Australia 179 for 4.
James Faulkner has made his way out to the centre. He's taking guard. It's 100 in that very high-scoring series, late 2013. It's a 7-match series on some beautiful batting pitches. He's here because Travis Head decided to smoke this down Luckmole's throat. Full toss from De Silva. Out for unlucky 13 for some. The 4th one down, and just when the last rights are being played out.
Yes, these deliveries can get wickets. And you can see his face there, the poor guy. Straight down deep mid-on, and when you're so close to winning, it would have been good to be not out tonight. Not to be. David Warner, he'd like to be not out tonight. Certainly played well in this one-day series, Australia, after the Test series. It's been a good comeback. They would have been down and negative and feeling bad about that Test series and how they played, and they've turned it around. So to them, to the off-field staff, to Darren Lehmann, hold their heads high of how they've played this one-day series.
Well, the T20s are after this. This is the last of 50-over matches, and then we're into the 2 T20s here Tuesday night. often known as Happy Hour, T20. It's for Tuesday and Friday. It's 182 for 4. Halakili here, Tuesday night, and then down to the capital Friday night. So the Aussies, good touch in white ball cricket of this form, and then can't wait for Warner and Co to cut loose here on Tuesday. Fresh off this 100. Another extra. Warner looking for a little red inker with 3 figures alongside his name. Patirana's in his last, his 10th over. They edge even closer now to the men in yellow.
Yes, we go back to the fast-paced game, don't we? It'll be all happening, it'll be all over quickly. 20 cricket back.
Yeah, no mucking around with that format, is there, Marto? Love it to pieces.
Quick 3 hours, that's what we want. Interesting.
Sticks and Warner a little low as well. Yeah, look forward to that. Some of us up here have seen a lot of that lately. Fast and furious format. So have a lot of these Aussies. Very adept at it.
Yes, it started some 3.5 months ago, the first time the Tri-Series in the West Indies that Australia were playing. South Africa was there as well. End of the 40 over. It's 187 for 4.
Under 10 to get now. The tourists. Finch, be interested to know how that finger goes over the next 48 hours. And whether he just takes it easy and wants to maybe have the first T20 off and think about Friday. I think most players will tell you, no. I want to get in there, I want to get in and stay in the playing 11. Not give anyone else an opportunity to come in and do well.
Yes, he'd love to play. Good form. Have some of that form from Dan Buller. Last game, it was incredible batting. 55. So now just 8 more runs for Australia. They're already clinched the series. The Hero Cup, Dan Buller, and they'd love to finish at 4-1. It's always nicer than 3-2. Sounds better. Been good performance, and I think the bowling group is one because Australia's bowled first a lot. Lost the tosses and Stark getting early wickets. Hastings has come through, performed outstanding as well.
Cries of no from Warner. Well, I'm interested to see what goes down with that side, given that Finch may not play. A couple of injections and happy as Larry to play. But if he doesn't, interesting. And there's that it. He can't believe it. The captain has succumbed to a lollipop. Tossed up. And he's not going to have a little red inker alongside his name because he's been caught and bowled by De Silva.
He looks bitterly disappointed as he wanted to be there all the way through as the captain's been an outstanding knock, and in the end it's just an easy half volley that he hit straight back. but he can keep his head held very high tonight, be proud of what he's done. First Australian to score 100 in Sri Lanka. He'll never be happy, David Warner, because of the performance he wants, but he's gone for 106 tonight. That's 189 for 5.
Big strapping figure of Jono Hastings is out there now at number 7. Let's finish things off. Only 7 required. Come out to join James Faulkner. The bowling all-rounders are out there together. Faulkner's just been out there for 9 deliveries. Hoping to finish things off with his skipper. He's just watched Warner disappear. For 106. Oh, just a couple of strokes, thanks. Fence for 4. 2 4s will do it. Short one. Long hop. He's found the fielder as Faulkner. 4 dots on the trot. Go. Broken the sequence. It's over to you, Big John.
Well, a couple of wickets, Danny. You never know. Finch is back there. Put the pressure on. 7 down. 6 to win. He's the one, David Warner, after all the hard work, the half volley straight back to the bowler. And that's why the grimace. He knows it. Even though he scored the highest score for an Australian today, he's still disappointed. That's how much it means to him.
Well, it ends the 42nd, and it's 190 for 5. Jay Faulkner, Jay Hastings finish things off here for Australia. Sensible stuff, little noodle around the corner, and Hastings alert to the call.
Sri Lanka just making it a little bit tough at the end here for Australia. Field's still back though. I'd like to see the field up for the big all-rounder, Hastings. Make him try and play a shot over the top. Get some excitement going.
Silver. A hang time with this delivery. Now luck, it's a miss hit really. Oh, and it goes for 4. So Hastings has got a boundary and the scores are level now.
The big all-rounder, here he comes to the party. He walks in and says, thank you very much. This is easy. I'll just hit this one straight down the ground. Pick up a boundary. Scores a level. Just 1 run now needed for Australia to go 4-1 up. It's Hero Cup.
No!
Here's a glaring stat for Sri Lankan fans. It's the 11th defeat in 12 ODIs against a test-playing team in 2016. Of course, that was in the series. They beat Australia, Premadasa. 11th defeat, 12 games. A lot of work to do for the boys in blue. Just a single required, 1 to go in this over. Lovely little flick around the corner that is going to race into the fence. Hastings scores the winning runs. And Faulkner is not out 8, so is Hastings. And they get there right on the stroke of the 43rd over to take out this Hero Cup 4-1 with 5 wickets in the bank.
It's been a fantastic performance, as I mentioned, from the Test series. They lost that badly And they've turned that around with this squad and played some outstanding cricket. 4-1, and all finished off here by Hastings, the all-rounder. There's been numerous players to talk about. From the bowling of Stark to the batting of Bailey, the David Warner 100 as well tonight to get him home. There he is, David Warner. Travis Head played his part. Finch up the top right as well. Faulkner, incredible with the ball. A lot of wickets, and that's what they did, Australia. For the Sri Lankans, well, a lot of changes. They used a lot of players, and there'll be some chat about where they go forward in their one-day cricket. They'll be disappointed now they've lost 4-1 on home soil. But Australia all will be very happy in that camp leading into the T20 comp now, starting on Tuesday. The all smiles. David Warner took over the captaincy when Steve Smith went home for a rest. And since then, it's been all smiles for him. Winning captain, highest run scorer in Sri Lanka, first man to score 100. George Bailey in the back there was fantastic. But there it is, Warner at the top, led the captain's knock, 106, just 126, and Wade, Khawaja, nothing. Then George Bailey's done what he's done all series. A fantastic knock of 44. And then it was Faulkner and Hastings to come through at the end. Well, the bowling, Pereira, he's 1, and De Silva 3 wickets to Pereira, 2 to De Silva, and the rest not so much. Early on, Lackmal was fantastic, played and missed for the Aussies, but just couldn't get anything. And the rest of the spinners, no wickets as well. So it's been a disappointing night there for Sri Lanka. They won the toss, they won to bat first, and here we have the match summary. They got their 195. It was led by Stark with his 3 for 40, and then the Australian run chase was led by the Australian captain, David Warner. They win the series by 5 wickets and 4-1.